You're standing in an elevator. Someone steps in behind you. Before you've consciously registered a single detail about them, some part of you has already decided something. Your shoulders tense. You angle slightly toward the door. You haven't thought a single word yet, but your body has already made a judgment call. Most people call this a gut feeling. It isn't. It's something far faster and far more precise than intuition. Your conscious mind is slow. It processes information in careful, sequential steps, weighing evidence, considering context, forming conclusions. That system is excellent for solving math problems. It is far too slow for detecting danger in real time, and evolution didn't wait around for it to catch up. Somewhere underneath your conscious awareness, a separate, older system is running constantly, scanning faces, postures, and movement patterns for threat, and it finishes its analysis before your conscious mind even knows a question was asked. The psychologist Nalini Ambeddy spent years studying something she called thin slicing, the brain's ability to form accurate judgments about a person from remarkably small amounts of information, sometimes just a few seconds of observation. Ambeddy's research found something that surprised even her. Judgments formed from these tiny slices of behavior, a few seconds of video with no sound, a brief glimpse of posture, often matched judgments formed after much longer observation periods almost exactly. Your brain isn't guessing during those few seconds. It's running a highly compressed version of the same analysis it would perform given far more time. This matters enormously when it comes to threat detection, because predators, whether human or otherwise, tend to reveal themselves through movement patterns long before anything resembling an explicit threat occurs. A gait that lingers half a second too long, a gaze that tracks a target's vulnerability rather than their face, positioning that quietly closes distance while appearing to serve some other purpose entirely. None of this requires a weapon or a raised voice. Your ancient threat detection system was built to catch exactly these signals, long before your conscious mind would even think to look for them. The psychologist Alexander Todorov took this further, studying specifically how quickly people form judgments from faces alone. Todorov's research found that people form trait impressions, trustworthiness, competence, aggression, from a face in as little as 100 milliseconds, a tenth of a second, far too fast for any conscious reasoning to have occurred. Give someone more time to look, and their judgment barely changes. The verdict was already in before deliberate thought had a chance to contribute anything at all. This creates an unsettling asymmetry. Predators who understand, even instinctively, how these snap judgments work can sometimes manipulate the inputs your brain is scanning for. A warm, symmetrical smile. Open, unthreatening body language. Direct but gentle eye contact, precisely calibrated to register as safe. This is why so many predators, across countless documented cases, are described afterward using almost identical language. Nothing about him seemed off. He seemed completely normal. That description isn't a failure of your instincts. It's evidence that your instincts were successfully deceived at the exact layer where they operate fastest. The surface-level signals your brain is built to trust first. But underneath appearance, other signals are harder to fake. And this is where the split between your fast system and your slow system becomes most important. The security expert Gavin de Becker, who spent decades studying pre-incident behavior in violent situations, documented something he called pre-incident indicators, small behavioral tells that reliably precede violence, occurring consistently across cases with no connection to one another. Forced teaming, creating a false sense of shared circumstance to build unearned trust. Too many details, offering unsolicited, overly specific explanations designed to sound convincing rather than simply being true. Discounting the word no, treating a boundary as a negotiation rather than a decision. Loan sharking, offering unsolicited help specifically to create an obligation to reciprocate later. De Becker's research found that when people override their own instinctive discomfort in these situations, talking themselves out of a feeling because they can't articulate a concrete reason for it, they are frequently ignoring information their brain had already correctly processed. The FAST system doesn't explain itself in words. It simply produces a feeling, a tightening, a hesitation, an urge to create distance. And because that feeling arrives without a tidy explanation attached, people often dismiss it in favor of politeness, social pressure, or a desire to avoid seeming paranoid. This explains one of the most consistent details survivors describe after violent encounters. I knew something was wrong before anything happened. I just couldn't explain why. That description isn't retrospective imagination. It's an accurate report of a system that finished its analysis long before conscious language caught up to it, and was overridden anyway. Understanding this reframes what a gut feeling actually is. It isn't superstition, and it isn't mystical intuition pulled from nowhere. It's high-speed pattern recognition, built from an enormous evolutionary archive of threat-relevant cues, compressed into a feeling because feelings are faster to transmit than paragraphs of conscious reasoning ever could be. This doesn't mean every uneasy feeling about a stranger is accurate, and it doesn't mean suspicion should govern how you treat everyone you meet. But it does mean that when your body reacts before your mind has assembled a reason, that reaction deserves attention rather than automatic dismissal, because somewhere underneath conscious thought, a system built over millions of years already ran the numbers, and it rarely runs them for no reason at all. Think back to that elevator, the tensed shoulders, the subtle shift toward the door. You never consciously decided to do either of those things. Some much older, much faster part of you already had, long before you knew there was anything to decide at all.